Dina and Mike, step inside with me.
Step inside with us.
With us, step inside with us. You gotta trademark that one too.
You really messed that up.
Should I do it again?
No.
They ask you who the man. I pull it right up and I'm doing like Superman.
2021, 2022, $1.3 billion in sales. Ultra luxury real estate agent.
Homie, I'm super nice.
Mom, wife.
Man, that shit sis. Homie, I'm Superman, I'ma just fake it. They ask you who the
I
man.
like the process. I like what he did. I thought I could do it better.
What got you into real estate?
I got my license, bought a condo, and I started leaving my card in the checkbooks of the big spenders.
What's the best advice that you've ever received that you would give to somebody else? Pause for a second.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Legendary Podcast, episode 1. My name is Mike. Today I got a special guest. She's a little bit difficult to introduce because her stat sheet's extremely long, but I'm gonna give it a shot. $1.3 billion in sales in 2021, 2022, ultra luxury real estate agent, number 1 agent in Miami as per Wall Street Journal, number 1 agent in Douglas Elliman across the nation 2 years in a row, mother, wife, the creator of the Step Inside videos, which have gone viral all over Instagram, my good friend, Dina Goldentayer.
Wow. That is a really good intro. Thank you.
So Dina, for those who don't know you, what got you into real estate? Like, how did it start? For those who don't know you.
Sure. I love telling my beginning story because I think it's pretty down to earth. I was in between college and what I planned to be my next step, which was law school. And I thought that Miami would be a great place to spend a few months, make a little bit of money, which I did working as a cocktail waitress. And during that time, the real estate market was really taking off. So I got my license. I also had bought a condo during that time. And I started leaving my card in the checkbooks of the big spenders. And that is how I was able to transition to being a full-time real estate person.
Was there a golden moment, or did you manifest this? Do you believe in energy? Like, how did you get from there to here?
I mean, I'm an immigrant, so for me, it's always about, succeeding. I definitely knew that I did not want to go back to law school, or even start law school, I should say, that I loved Miami, that I was not going to go back to the Northeast. And since I had just bought my first condo and saw what my realtor did at the time, I liked the process. I like what he did. I thought I could do it better. And I thought that he made a nice chunk of, ching for that process. So I definitely made that choice to become a full-time real estate agent in that time period.
Do you believe in energy and manifestation?
Of course I believe in energy and manifestation. I drove by houses and I say, I'm going to sell that house.
And you sell it?
Oftentimes, yeah.
Definitely. How do you navigate your clients through this emotional roller coaster, whether it's buying or selling?
Sure. I totally agree. Real estate is a very emotional asset, right? It's not just something on the balance sheet. It's the roof over people's homes most of the time, which is who I work with. I mostly work with end users rather than investors, buying and flipping. I go on the ride with them. Sometimes I'm a pillar of calm. Other times I'm losing my ish, It's like you said, it's emotional.
Is there a deal in the recent years that you can't forget? Like, what made it unforgettable?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every deal becomes slightly unforgettable because every deal has some sort of kink, right? There's always a moment where everything's smooth and then boom, And it could be at the beginning and going in contract and negotiating. It could be a nasty inspection period. It could be a walkthrough where you show up and, items are missing or things are broken. They're all a roller coaster ride in their own way. I
met you 4 years ago, right? 4+ years ago?
I'm going to go with 5.
5 at the Real Deal.
I think we had already worked together at that point. At that Real Deal event is when we decided to really give working with each other a shot.
And then I remember we started working together. I hinted to you, put you on the camera, get you in front of the camera.
You did do that.
And you were kind of a little pushback at the beginning. I remember you used to do, the voiceover at the beginning and then a little bit. So why I'm touching on this is, fast forward 5 years and your brand, your presentation, your passion, your attention to detail, it very few people I've come across in the years I've been doing this have that.
Thanks.
Elaborate a little bit on your investment and your dedication to your digital presence.
Sure. Well, to go back where you want to go back, you know, you really were responsible for getting me in front of the camera. I did not want to be on camera because I'm a perfectionist. So if I'm going to do something, I want it to be perfect. So it became this extra layer of now I have to be perfect on film, and I just wasn't into it. But you convinced me, and it was the right move. And I believe we came up with Step Inside with me.
That was you.
Okay, well.
That was you.
I still feel like there was a very much collaborative process.
There was an energy. I always tell people that, you know, a lot of your presentations are a synergy between you, your team, you know, my team,
Your editors.
the editors, the energy, you know, because a lot of these videos, it's your vision.
Sure.
And then I come in, I execute it, and I, you know, sprinkle my magic into it. But
Yeah, or we'll have different versions. There'll be one version that was my vision, then there'll be the Mike version that's a little more
rap, a little more.
aggressive.
I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy.
How do you keep cool under pressure, you know, when you're selling these $1 million listings?
Well, you guys, you know, you and your team all see what it's like on film day. And, you know, I'm not always cool, right? Like, I'm human, you know. Sometimes I have a day and someone calls me at the wrong time and they're going to get it. But I would like to say that that's a 10% ratio, and that 90% of the time I'm professional, that I can deal with a bump in the road. And the other 10%, I'm human. And then I, you know, apologize.
I actually was talking to my team the other day, and I was telling them the reflection, I've learned in doing this in years, that the reflection of the homeowners is a reflection of my clients. You know, almost all your homes are typically meticulous.
Yeah.
You know, the clients trust you. They're out of the way.
Right.
They let you come in. They let you move things. They let you stage. They let you present the property in the light that you need to sell it. So I want to, you know, compliment you on that, because that's something that I think real estate agents should learn from.
Yes. I mean, that is actually a big part of my marketing presentation, because I feel like if someone has spent, you know, like the house we're sitting in today, right, years of their life building a special house and laboring over the details and being OCD, then they want an agent who has a similar style. So I tend to attract that type of client because that's how I am.
Give me a top 3 killer must-haves in a luxury real estate property.
That is so tough, and I didn't get these questions ahead of time.
Well, what are the top 3 things that you love in a house?
Okay, that's better. I like high ceilings. I like natural light.
Okay.
And I like specialty design features.
What's the best advice that you've ever received that you would give to somebody else?
It's not the showing, it's what happens after the showing.
I like that. Never heard that one. How's life been since, you know, having 2 kids? How much has your life changed?
I mean, it's, of course, it's changed, right? But to answer, you know, bluntly, it's been better, right? Agreed. There's more than closing deals now, you know?
I think when that love comes into your life, it changes people for the better, elevates them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like before having kids, all the things that people would say about kids, it was all kind of like a broken record. Everybody says the same thing. Now I understand. It is all that. It is all those things.
So life's not all about work. What do you do on your downtime to disconnect?
So I don't really compartmentalize my life like that anymore. I don't need to turn on this like, I'm disconnecting now moment, right? And now I've just found a way to incorporate the work so that it doesn't, because I used to get frustrated. I used to be like, hey, this is my one day off and someone's bothering me with something that I don't have the bandwidth to deal with. When I stopped thinking like that, I would have less frustration. You know, so that means I'm always kind of a little bit on, but that's actually, for me, less stressful than having to carve out the time of this is my off time. Sundays obviously are like a bit of a sacred family day. I still work on Sundays because I chose a business where people are off on Sundays. They want to talk to me on Sundays. They want to look at property. But if I can avoid it, I do like to make Sunday a family day.
Yeah, Sundays is the day you also post on your stories, a little bit more family. And
I do. I post because I'm with my kids more that day, so it's definitely organic and not so much, you know, planned.
You're the only person I talk to Monday through Sunday, by the way.
Yeah, I definitly loop you in on the weekend.
You loop me in at all times, pretty much.
Well, when I have a good idea, I want to get it out, right?
You're happy, like your $57 million sale.
Yeah, I'm sure was reaching out.
That was a dope video.
I always give compliments when something is dope, and I give critique when it isn't.
And you sold it in how long?
That last sale was sold in 32 days. And
27 star, by the way.
my video for that was exceptional, and you were the lead on that conceptually. So
Co-leader.
for sure, I got the second part.
Co-leader.
The 1920s vintage vibe.
No, but you also had the inspiration that you found with the appearing and disappearing. I just made it happen.
Yeah, I mean,
And the Netflix, remember the little Netflix scene?
the Netflix music was all you.
Yeah, it was good. It was dope.
That one was very collaborative.
Good work.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to ask you, when it comes to the terms of your listings,
Sure.
when you win these listings, what is the typical term that you have them for? That you agree to have them for?
Yeah, no, I try to time them with the market, right? So if an average days on market in Miami Beach is about 180 days or 270 days, that's what I take the listings at, right? 6 to 9 months. When we were in a market where things would sit on the market longer, there was more inventory, I would shoot to get a listing for 1 year. But as the market moves faster, I certainly, don't expect my owners to commit to me longer than the average days on market. In fact, something I'm known for is that my average days on market are less than anyone else,
So what's the average number that your listings are on market?
My average days on market are probably blending at around 90 days, but I still will not take a listing that short. That's just not fair to me,
So 6 to 9 months is your sweet spot?
9 months is my sweet spot. I feel that's what people are comfortable with, and it's in line with, days on market.
You've been such an inspirational figure in the real estate industry, especially for women. How does that make you feel? And how does it make you feel when you see women trying to emulate your work or imitate or however you want to call it?
Sure. I mean, at first, it was kind of like, not like the most amazing feeling because I felt like I was creating something that was special. And then to see others wanting to duplicate that, there's a natural feeling of like, And then it just evolved to, well, imitation is the highest form of flattery. And then it evolved beyond that where I get so much love on Instagram from other women, again, like trying to raise me up. So I want to return that same feeling for them. And I think that's just like the new norm of society of girls being in a girl gang and supporting one another as opposed to the old, societal views of catfights.
You've been dedicating more time at the shoots now than before. Before you used to come in and give me 30 minutes and just run.
That's true. The videos, yes, definitely. I used to have a lower attention span and I wouldn't want to spend as much time on set. But seeing how much success they bring me and how good they're turning out to be, I am able to block out a day rather than 2 hours.
You should, now you got this trademark with the Step Inside. I have a website where all these videos you've been doing throughout the years are playing.
Sure. I do have stepinsidewithme.com. It has not been utilized as much as it should be, but it would definitely be a great place to probably put all the videos.
Portfolio piece.
See, this is how we vibe. That's a good idea. Someone write that down. I really appreciate that you don't let anyone say step inside with me. That is trademark.
Not only do I say that, but also my guys tell them that too. Some girls try to slide it in there and it's not going to make the cut.
Yeah, you got to go with welcome in or let me take you on a tour. But, step inside of these lines.
And how do you plan to evolve Step Inside with me?
I like anything. I think I don't sit down and make a plan of like, okay, now I have to evolve, right? It happens on its own. The properties get more substantial, so they warrant a bigger media production, right? We've started doing things that have more themes, right? Instead of just, 8 bedrooms, 7 baths.
Which to touch base on
like
that,
the house we're sitting in.
I think that's something innovative that you've actually pushed. You also push me and you push the team to our limits and elevate our talents, our skill sets from shooting to editing with some of your thoughts and your visions, because you've kind of taken what LA has done, but LA does these 5 to 10 minute boring long videos. So you've done these themes, but you condense them into like a minute 15 where they're professional, sexy, but catch your attention. And it's incredible. How did you come up with that? Like, how did you evolve?
I mean, for me, it's just like, I don't have the patience to get 10 to 15 minutes of content. You're filming for 2 to 3 days, right? Like if you want it to be good. I'm a 1 day person, right? So it's what we can get done in 1 day because I still have to go back to my core business, which is, taking everyone's calls and showing their properties and finding buyers and also being at home with my husband and my kids. So I can't just be, doing media, because people ask me all the time, like, why don't you do a show? You know, like, that's not for me. My Instagram and what we do is my show. So that format of doing a minute to a minute and a half, for me, gets it accomplished.
You know what I think you should do down the road?
Do tell.
Masterclass for women.
Sure.
I think it would be a big hit.
I think so too. I definitely feel that I have something to offer, and I'm now at the point in my life, you know, where I'm in my 40s. I've definitely entered a more like collaborative phase and a moment of how do I contribute to help others with perhaps, you know, business tips.
How do you wake up and start in your mornings to have a successful day? Like, what is your, like, because you've been flashing a lot. Actually, before I dive into that, you've been doing a lot of this day in your life, right?
Yes, we have transitions, a day in the life.
A day in the life. So
More.
in a day in the life, I noticed in your videos, you have a driver.
Yeah.
How long you been with him?
I think we're going in year 4.
Year 4. How has that helped your business?
It's helped my business tremendously because I don't run late anymore. I used to run consistently 5 to 10 minutes late looking for parking or whatever it is that I was doing. I obviously use the back seat as my office, right? And for me, driving has always been a source of anxiety. So, you know, I chose a career that revolved around driving, and the first many years were very stressful because, again, I'm not a good driver. You know, I would get lost. I couldn't find parking. I'd be driving and texting. Ultimately, the decision was made because my husband, you know, saw that I was driving and texting so much that he didn't think that that was the right way to live.
And he's Cuban.
The driver's Cuban.
Driver's Cuban. No, your husband's not Cuban. The driver's Cuban, and you don't speak Spanish.
You're Cuban.
So how
There's
do you
enough
communicate?
Cubans in my life.
How do you communicate with him?
You know, for me, I'm like an adrenaline person. When something is like going, my Spanish somehow it gets really good. And there's body language, right?
That is true. And then there's you calling me, telling me to talk to him in Spanish.
That happens like never. I mostly find my way.
So now tie into the day in your life. What does your days typically consist of?
You know, I try to start with a few minutes of meditation. Even a 5-minute meditation, I feel sets the tone for my day in a more positive way than the days that I don't do it. I really like my first 30 to 45 minutes to be without emails, certainly not phone calls, and I spend that time with my kids. That just, you know, makes me feel whole and gives me like a moment of peace and love and beauty before I go into this world of insane, intense real estate.
What's your theme song like in your life? Like, what's your song, your tune that you love, and why is that tune?
Dun, 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 dun.
And I smoke till I got chest pains.
I already did that. I'm not going to do that again. This is the moment where the song plays in the background and you guys make it a cool edit.
I've been blind so long I fell asleep on the...
If you can have a 1-hour chat, coffee, drink with anyone that are alive, who would it be and what would you ask them?
I think because I just mentioned his name and he's accomplished so much in his industry and I'm a fan, probably Drake.
Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is amazing.
I don't think that's the expected answer.
I wasn't expecting Drake. Yeah. Is there anybody in the industry that motivated you or inspired you when you were beginning and, you know, growing your wings?
I mean, I'm definitely more of a self-starter. You know, I love the fact that so many, you know, young agents want a mentor. That was not me. You know, I was like scrappy, trying to figure it out on my own. I didn't really have that set up.
Where do you see yourself, you know, 5-10 years from now, you know, with this brand that you're growing?
I don't know. I'm just like really enjoying it, you know, week by week, month by month. You know, when I get a call and someone says, will you list my $20 million house? You know, I'm so excited. And that progressed naturally to a $30 million house, $40 million house, $50 million house, you know, 60, 80, 100, right? So that always keeps me excited, right? I'm in sales. But then comes the next moment of the marketing meeting of how are we going to do this differently, right? Not necessarily better, but differently, because that also keeps me interested. And if I'm interested, then I know the people that are around me are also staying intrigued and tuning in.
You know, I think that's something that you and I have in common. I feel like a part of you live in the moment. Like you don't look so much into the future or the past. Like Like when people ask me like numbers, like how many properties have I shot, or how many views I have on you. I don't even look at any of that. I don't really focus on numbers. I focus on how can I better myself today. I think you and I have that similarity where you don't really think so much 20 steps ahead. You kind of conquer and master what's in front of you.
It's definitely a balance. I'm for sure thinking more ahead than I am behind, right? I mean, naturally in sales, everyone wants to know your numbers. So for sure, we tally those up at the end of the year. But I'm not in the moment as much as I would like, because there's always running lists in my head to stay organized and to stay focused, right? Because especially on video days, on those days, because I am, immersing myself into this media content, there's so much that's being left behind that at some point I have to get to, which is my actual core business, So I'm always not necessarily in the moment. I'm trying to just keep it all balanced while I'm kind of pretending to be in the moment.
I mean, you do a good job. You got a good team.
Definitely.
Let's set the stage for the listeners. Where are we right now? Where are we doing this podcast?
So we are at 9520 West Broadview. It is what I commonly represent, the best house in the neighborhood. It's a house that has never quite existed. So, I'm oftentimes touting a record-breaking sale. That's because I've been chosen to represent a house that has yet to be of this stature. And this house is asking $24.950 million. It is going to break all sorts of records in the community. And it's a best-in-class asset. High ceilings, natural light, amazing views.
How does this house epitomize the luxury and lifestyle of the Bay Harbor Islands?
So this house definitely embodies, the style of the community. It has 8 bedrooms. It doesn't signal bachelor vibes, like many of the homes that I sell. It has a back kitchen in addition to a show kitchen. It's got multiple areas to lounge. It's definitely has a space for, a playroom if the buyer is a family with kids. But it also has a more entertainment angle as well, as seen by the beautiful bar behind us. So it's really a balanced house. It's not just targeting like one type of consumer.
If you had to pick, what's your one favorite spot of the house? Like what piece or component of this home is what really...
Sure. Probably where we're sitting, because it's such an open space, but it's also like clearly delineated. And a lot of times modern homes feel like one big open white box. So to have a house that gives you the benefits of the white box, which is high ceilings, amazing light, but still the compartmentalization of what traditional, a house for a bigger family. This one is the best of both worlds. And I love the aesthetic, that it's warmer, that it's not, white everything. It's a very, neutral palette with a little bit of darker tones. So it's just kind of its own vibe and really aesthetically pleasing. I'm also having a love affair with travertine right now, and the house has like slabs of travertine walls. And I think that's going to look amazing 10 years down the road too.
Whoa, Dina. There's
For the plug.
always. So there's before I end the podcast, I want to thank you for your friendship more than anything. You've actually stuck by me and believed in me as well through my ups and downs. So
I never felt them.
Yeah, I hide them well. I'm always smiling.
You are.
So, but I want to thank you, and you're an inspiration to me. You're an inspiration to my team, and to a lot of people. So keep doing what you're doing. And
thank you.
I'm always going to be here to elevate you. There's only one way to end this podcast.
Your partnership.
Always. There's only one way to end the podcast. So.
Right.
Step inside with me. Let's do one.
Step inside.
No, but not like that. Let's actually, you sitting there.
You ruined it.
Unscripted.
That was unscripted.
No, unscripted. If you were going to step aside with me right now, unscripted, what would the intro be?
The intro to this house?
Yeah.
I'm Dina Goldentayer, and this is 9520 West Broadview, a monumental modern home in Bay Harbor Islands. Step inside with me.
And the outro? What would it be?
The outro would be... What do I think on that?
It's simple. Water, sunsets, views.
Dina and Mike, step inside with me.
Step inside with us.
With us. Step inside with us. You got to trademark that one too.
You really messed that up.
Shall I do it again?
No, we got it.
They ask you who the man. I'm pulling right up and I'm doing like Superman. Hey, back with the vengeance, I'm back with the vibe and a true man.